Welcome back to the Matriarch Project. I am your host, Andy Robinson, and I have tried to make this podcast no less than 700 times today. And it is not flowing for me. I have notes, I have written a script, went over it with AI, and it's a good script. But for some reason, it is not working for me. So we're just going to try and wing it with notes. The Matriarch Project is essentially a 12-month human experiment with me as the test subject. Why? Because for 19 years, including incubation, I have been needed by somebody. My son. I have raised him. He was my mission. And now that particular phase of the mission is ending. He is going off to college. I will be an empty nester. And I was wondering what comes next. I think we don't talk about this phase a lot. The place in a woman's life where you go from somebody's everything to what am I now? Because we dedicate our lives to our children, as we should. That's how you raise good men, future leaders, or good humans in general. You don't dote on them, but you cultivate a human mind, and that's our responsibility, obligation, and privilege as a parent. But it takes a lot of effort and dedication and time. And when you don't have to do that anymore because you set them free into the world, who are you? What do you become? I think it gives you a lot of time. And in that time, you can drift. And I was most certainly drifting, but I did catch myself and I decided to do something about it. And here we are with the Matriarch Project. Each of these 12 months, I will step into the life of an iconic woman, a game changer, a matriarch. This month is Mel Robbins. I started this month and this is going to be easy. Like, she just gets up at 6 and goes to bed at 10 and has some rules about getting up and going to bed. I've got this. I do not got this. It was a very eye-opening lesson in structure this week. It wasn't even a lack of motivation because I was super excited to do it. But I think after spending years in real estate and construction, nothing can be built without a solid structure. And I think that my biggest question this week ended up surprising me. And that is my internal foundation actually strong enough to support the life that I keep saying that I want to build? And that's a big question. It's one that I don't have an answer for yet, but I am looking forward to that answer. I'm sure it will come. So, on the topic of Mel Robbins, let's talk 5-second rule. Basically, it's a countdown. It sounds simple on the surface. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, right? But what I realized this week is it's not about getting things done. It's not really about procrastination. It's about the hesitation, right? If you can interrupt the hesitation, you can move. And hesitation, that's where everything falls apart. When you hesitate, you don't make the call. You don't go to Lowe's. You don't start the project. You don't say the thing. You record a podcast 75,000 times and then decide that it doesn't look good and just walk away. I did employ that technique a lot this week and it wasn't perfect, but I was fairly consistent. You get stuck and now you have a tool to get unstuck. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, moving on. I definitely found it useful in the matriarch furniture shop because I hesitate a lot in there because I am still learning, which is very humbling because I am very much used to being capable. I am used to knowing what I am doing, the how, the when, the where. And I'm in charge in that shop, but I am still a novice in many things. Woodworking doesn't care that I'm a good real estate agent. Woodworking cares about the preparation. Did I measure correctly? Did I not rush when I was doing so? Did I plan the piece? Did I prepare the surface correctly? Do I already know what I'm going to finish with? It is a lesson in patience, which fits in with the structure piece of figuring out what the foundation is this month. Here is what I want to say about this. I thought this was going to be way easier than it is. I thought that I was going to have all of these epiphanies the first week, and I did not. What I had was struggle. And what I had was a eye-opening, awakening to how far my routine had actually gone off the rails. I moved almost 3 years ago. The move didn't work out how it needed to for me to be financially secure in it, and threw me off kilter. And I don't think that I have ever come back to the person that I was before this move. And it has taken a long time to even build up the courage to admit that to myself. And this week I had to face that head on. So that's a step. That's learning about myself. That's knowing what I need to handle in order to move on to what's next. So, and if you're somewhere in this process too, I think it's important to remember you're not behind. You're just not who you used to be anymore. Truth, that was a revelation this week. And that's not a problem. That's the point. I'm Andy Robinson, and this is the Matriarch Project, day 9 of Chit Show of a podcast. But I did it. I didn't try. I did well, is maybe not accurate, but I did it.